So, picture this. You've just met someone. They're cute, they're funny, and you get those unmistakable butterflies every single time they text you back. Life is good, right? Love is absolutely in the air. But then, somewhere between date 3 and the moment you decide to really make things official, you uncover the truth. They are carrying more debt than a college senior with a shopping addiction and a maxed out Discover card. Just like that, the honeymoon phase comes screeching to a halt. So what do you do now? I mean, do you just run for the hills? It's the classic question, isn't it? You might try to convince yourself of that old romantic adage. You might look into their eyes and think, well, does love conquer all? It's a beautiful sentiment for sure. But when romance violently collides with heavy financial baggage, we kind of have to look past the poetry and start looking at the math. And here is your punchy reality check. Spoiler alert, it absolutely does not conquer late fees. As much as we'd like it to, romance is not going to pay the interest rate on a personal loan. Now, before you panic and immediately break up with someone over their credit card statement, we need to have a real talk. Dating someone in debt isn't automatically a deal breaker, but it is absolutely a situation that you need to understand. Let's dive into this and look at what you might actually be signing up for. To start off, let's look at Section 1, the reality of partner debt. The very first thing we have to figure out is just how much debt we are talking about here, and honestly, more importantly, what kind. Because let's be real, not all debt is created equal. The type of debt matters just as much as the total amount owed. First up, we have what we call goodish debt. This is debt that comes from investing in something that has real, tangible value. Think student loans, a mortgage, or maybe a reasonable car loan. So if your partner has, say, $8,000 in student loans for a nursing degree they actually use, that's goodish debt. It's still debt, yes, and it still has to be paid, but there is a logical, responsible reason it exists in the first place. Next, we have neutral debt. Medical debt often falls right into this category. Nobody plans to get sick or injured, right? This kind of debt tells you very little about your partner's personal money habits and, frankly, a whole lot about a broken healthcare system. So, the crucial point here is to judge carefully before you judge at all. And then, we arrive at bad debt. This is the $40,000 spread across 6 credit cards because someone thought they could flip houses after watching 3 YouTube videos. We're talking high-interest consumer debt, payday loans, overspending, accounts and collections, the whole shebang. Bad debt is often a glaring symptom of much deeper behavioral issues, like a really dangerous relationship with money or intense financial avoidance. If you see this, proceed with extreme caution. Which brings us to Section 2, the hidden emotional and financial costs. Let's talk about the exhausting reality of dating someone drowning in debt. Because even if it's not actually your debt, the stress, it bleeds into absolutely everything. It ruins a Saturday morning vibe, it causes totally unrelated arguments, and it makes your partner anxious or super defensive. You definitely didn't sign up to be an emotional support accountant, but the stakes here are really high. A 2022 Ramsey Solutions study found a pretty staggering statistic. Money fights are the #2 leading cause of divorce in America. #2. And notice, it's not the money itself with the money fights, the arguing, the hiding, the shame. That cycle doesn't just suddenly start after the wedding. It starts right here, while you're dating. These hidden, indirect costs can easily creep up on you. First, there's the lifestyle gap. Say you want to go on a trip, they can't afford it. So you either end up paying for both of you or you just miss out entirely. If things get serious and you share accounts or sign a lease, their credit score impacts you, potentially costing you thousands in higher loan rates. Your own savings rate slows down because you're covering shared expenses. Then there's the mental bandwidth. You only get so many hours in a day, and spending them managing someone else's financial panic is just exhausting. And finally, your own financial habits. We naturally adapt to the people we love, meaning their bad money habits can very easily and unconsciously become your bad money habits. Okay, so we've established the impact is huge. Let's transition to Section 3, red and green financial flags. Look, everyone makes mistakes. Literally nobody gets through life with a completely spotless money record. The real question isn't whether your partner has debt. The question is, how are they reacting to it? Their reaction reveals their true habits. Let's contrast these behaviors for a second. Green flags mean they are actually working on it. They know exactly what they owe, they have a repayment plan, they talk about it openly without getting defensive, and they've made real lifestyle adjustments, like cutting out random splurges. Now look at the red flags. They have no idea how much they owe. They get angry or completely shut down when you bring it up. They're still spending on luxury vacations they absolutely can't afford, and they blame the bank, the economy, or their ex. One partner is handling a tough spot, the other is repeating a toxic pattern. Remember, you aren't just dating their current situation, you are dating their pattern. Identifying those patterns requires real communication. Let's look at section 4, having the money conversation. I know, nobody wants to bring up money on a date. It feels super unromantic, kind of like a job interview, but financial compatibility is critical. The longer you wait to have an honest money conversation, the more complicated things get. So, here is a practical toolkit for bringing up money safely before things get too serious. Step 1, start with yourself. Share something about your own financial journey first, to just gently open the door without putting them on the spot. Step 2, ask about values, not just the numbers. Ask them what financial security actually means to them. Step 3, pay close attention to their reaction. Do they laugh it off, or do they engage honestly? And finally, step 4, be direct when you need to be. It is perfectly adult to say, hey, before we go any further, let's have a real talk about where we're at financially. And you absolutely must have that talk before we reach section 5, cohabitation and paying it off. Let's really slow down here for a second, because moving in together or deciding to help pay off their debt are incredibly high-stakes financial milestones. Once you share rent and groceries, if one of you struggles to make ends meet, the other person fills the gap. It's just math. Before you even think about signing a lease together, you've got to run through this list of non-negotiable questions. You must know their monthly income and expenses. You must know their minimum debt payments. You need to know what funds are actually remaining after those payments. And you need a concrete, agreed-upon plan for who pays what. If they can't afford to live with you comfortably and you end up constantly covering the difference, that will turn into a slow-burn resentment that torches the relationship, literally every time. But what if you just want to help them pay it off? Well, it depends. Helping works if you're in a long-term commitment, you have crystal clear expectations, like is this a gift or is it a loan, and you can afford it without risking your own security. But helping is a massive problem if you feel guilted into it, they haven't changed their bad habits, or it's just way too early in the relationship. The golden rule here? Never, ever lend money to someone you love unless you are fully prepared to never see it again. Protects your bank account just as fiercely as your heart. Let's move to our final main topic, section 6, character versus circumstance. At the end of the day, this explainer isn't just about the math. Debt is just numbers, and numbers can be dealt with. We really need to shift our focus to the actual person behind the debt. This brings us to an incredibly powerful concept. Debt is a circumstance. Character is permanent. A partner with $50,000 in debt who is honest, motivated, and taking real responsibility is vastly better than a debt-free partner who hides financial secrets and avoids responsibility. The debt? That's temporary. The character is exactly who you are marrying. So, before you go all in, here is a highly actionable, rapid-fire checklist for your own self-preservation. Ask yourself, do I know the exact amount and type of their debt? Are they actively paying it down? Are we having open money talks? Do our financial values align, even if our current situations don't? Am I genuinely comfortable with how shared expenses would work right now? Don't just hope things will miraculously work out. You need clear eyes here. Because here is the bottom line, guys. Potential does not pay the bills. Dating someone in debt doesn't mean they are a bad partner, but how they handle financial pressure reveals exactly how they'll handle life's other pressures down the road. So I leave you with this final thought to take away from this explainer. Your heart deserves love. Absolutely. But will you protect both your heart and your bank account? Keep your eyes open, have the hard conversations, and please, don't abandon your own financial future in the name of romance.